This is okay, right, sure. So then, this is the first time that we are meeting in this first semester in the project management subject, and last day we discussed about the assignment as well. So even this situation, we'll try to continue the assignment, right? So we'll just try. Yeah, we can just satisfy that at least we have tried. Okay. So then we'll go with the initial preparations to the projects. Then we'll see how will be the situation in the country and the world as well. So with according to that, we can make some amendments to the project. So that also a kind of a learning, right? So because we are going to do the project, but there are some other what we call environmental issues are there, right? Outside, I mean, and without our control, there are some issues arising. So then, according to that, we have to adjust some things in our project, right? That's also a learning point for you. So then we'll go with the initial planning of the assignment. Then I'll share the assignment with you today as well, right? So it's already available in the LMS. Then children, you can refer that document. I'll share the document with you and discuss again. Okay. Let me brief the assignment first, right? Before starting the lecture. Okay, I think you all can see my screen here. So your assignment is to do a project, a real project within the semester, right? Again, you are required to form a virtual company with 65 to 70 students in your batch, right? So then I think altogether more than 200 students are there. So you can have 65 to 70 or 75, it's also okay, right? So more than, I mean, in between 65 to 75 or 70, right? Students in your group. Okay. Then most probably there will be three groups from your batch. Then uh, you have to decide the creative name for your company, right? Earlier there were different creative names, and I shared them with you last day. So then you must I mean, you must choose a name, a good name for your company, right? Then you can design a company logo, and again, when you're going to create a logo, you can study logo design theories, right? There are logo design theories, children. So then you can study them according to those theories, and you can design a logo with reflect your company identity and the values, right? So that's a good learning for you. So then anyone can study and share all this knowledge with your group members, right? This is the important part, children. So then you must develop your company profile. This is a document actually you have to create. To prepare the document, you should decide these things first: company name and logo, mission and vision. So then again, children, developing a mission and vision also a skill. And again, there are some rules and theories for that. How you can design a mission, define a mission, how to define a vision statement for the company. Then study those, children. Those are for your own learning, right? Because when you're going to move the industry, this knowledge is really important to you. Then if you try on this one, it will be uplift yourself in all the interviews and all if you have the knowledge, right? Then everyone just study and discuss, take discussions, take meetings, take executive meetings, or managerial meetings, then all staff meetings, and discuss these things. Okay, right. Then organization structure. Children, there must be a chief executive officer for the organization, a leader, and under the she or him uh, a project manager should be there. You should elect a project manager, then finance manager, and HR manager. That means that there will be three divisions in your three departments in your company, right? So each department, these are the heads: project manager, finance manager, and the HR manager. And for the entire company, chief executive officer will be the leader, right? Then team members, accordingly, there will be 20 to 15 team members for each team. Depending on your requirement and responsibilities, you can adjust the team members. Like, for example, for the HR team, if you need only 10 people there, you can adjust that, right? That's okay. under project team, if you need more sub teams like supervisors, then operational team, and like that, if you can divide that further, right? So then your organizational structure should must be developed by yourself. That will be a graph, right? It's something like this. So here you have CEO, and under CEO you can divide that into three: project manager, HR manager, and again finance manager, like that. You can divide that. Under project management team, if you want to divide this further, right, you can do so. Then if you need operation assistant manager or someone, right, then supervisors, then any other team, right, further, if you want to further develop this one, that is possible. Again, HR team, if you want to develop further, right, then you can do it. So like that, you must develop an organizational structure, a chart like this, right? Then with that structure, you must appoint names, students, and then you must prepare a document with your organization structure and the person who is having the responsibility, right? After that, children, you must develop key roles and responsibilities. This is a table, children. So in the table, you can mention the position. It's a table like this. And here you have to mention the position, its position and responsibility, right? If that is CEO, then mention that here, what CEO should do, what are their responsibilities. And again, project manager, you can mention here responsibilities. If you have defined a new role like supervisor, right, project supervisor, operation manager, anything, right? So then you can list that position here, and again the responsibility that you're going to assign for that person. Again, members also there, right? Member of the HR team, right? Then again, responsibilities, keeping attendance, keeping meeting minutes, right? Again, report in the participation of your team, like that. So then that will be a table, right? So it's key roles and responsibilities, this one. Okay. Then everyone, the role of this HR team or the HR manager, I'll discuss these things in coming meetings, right? So we are going to have some meetings with executive members. That means all three projects, these are the executive team, right? You can appoint assistant project manager, assistant finance manager also, right? Then they also come to the executive team. Then I'm going to take meetings with this executive team. With that, we're going to decide what is the progress, what are the problems that you have, what are the things we have to do for those problems, how to address those. Like that, we're going to have these discussions in the executive meetings. After those executive meetings, you should take meetings with your staff, right? Then you must convey those messages to the staff, and after that, you can take necessary actions there as well, the selections, decisions, and everything. Okay. So you must report your progress to the executive meetings then. Again, within every 2 weeks, most probably we're going to have meetings, right? Okay. Then children contact details and all, short introduction about the team as well. You have to mention. Is that clear? All? Any questions? Okay, next, you must choose a realistic innovative project. So this is the second part. So first you must create the company with a name, and then you must select a project. What you can do. Again, I'm reminding that you can continue the previous ones as well. That is also okay, but it is always good to go with some new thing, additional new thing to the project. For example, if you're going to organize the same blood donation campaign, that is also okay because we can continue that as an annual event. But you can add more things like hair donation with that one, organ donation, or any other thing, right? You can plan. Then you must prepare project description, a description of the project, objectives and goals. We're going to discuss how to develop those in today's lecture. Then prepare the budget. So then budget structure is there. We're going to discuss that in the lecture. Then time scheduling, that is also we're going to discuss through the lecture. Then after today's lecture, you can go with these project descriptions, planning, right? Okay. Then you must submit this document on or before 12th April. Then we will go through your proposals, I mean your project proposals, proposal documents, and we're gonna take necessary approvals, I mean, so what you call permissions for those things, approvals. Then we can work with the project, right? Then after submitting your proposals, I'll take the meeting with your executive team. Okay, that's the plan, children. Again, you should submit your company file document with the project plan. So those are two different things, right? Company profile document, you can prepare a nice one. So if you search about company profile documents in Canva or somewhere, there are very nice documents there. So you must prepare such a nice one, right? Not just a Word file. It should be a very professional one, right? Okay, then project plan as well. So deadline is 12th April 2026. Right. Anything to discuss about the project, children? I mean, the assignment? Anything to clarify? వాళ్ళ అహాను ముగుత్తి నా దగ్గర సంబంధం. Are you okay to work again? Right. So then this is, I have shared this in the LMS. Now it's time starts. So you should submit the computer file document and the project plan before 12th April 2026. Right. Right, children, I think you can see my screen, the presentation. Let's go through it, right? Okay. So today's topic is planning and scheduling projects. So that is the important part of the project management. So then there are 5 phases actually in a project management life cycle. So then first one is planning, then monitoring, controlling, like that. There are several steps, children. We're gonna go step by step throughout this lecture series. Then today we're going to discuss about planning. Okay. So I think last 2 days you learned about what is a project and project triple constraints, how it can be managed, right? Like that. Those details we are discussed with you last days, I think. Then I also at the beginning go through some relevant information, and with that we'll move to the project planning and scheduling. Okay. I think the word project is very familiar to you because every time every person is talking about project, right? Even politicians, they are discuss about we are doing a project like this, we are doing a project here, we are doing a international project, water project, right? The word is there, right? But as people who are going to learn project management, you should have a clear understanding how will be a project. What is a project actually? What are the main features of a project? So these things already you know, right? But I'll go through that again. So children, we are engaged with day-to-day activities, right? So no, normal. If we consider an employee or a person, he's normally do their routine works, go to work, do some activities, and go come back home like that. So there are daily activities, right? So those activities doesn't have an end date, children, right? So one point or one special point of a project is that project must have a end date. It must have an end date. So then that is how we can we can clearly identify a project, right? We can differentiate a project from a daily activity to a specific activity which has a end date, right? The other one, it should have a time period like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year. However, it must have a clear, well-defined time period, children. Then only it can identify as a project, right? Again, it should have a goal. So what's the goal then? Goal is a long-term achievement of the project, right? There must be a goal. After completing this project, in long term, these things will be changed or these things can be achieved. Like that, there should be a goal, right? Again, children, to achieve that goal, there should be a defined work, right? Defined work means there should be a well organized and pre-known list of activities to perform. That is called work. We are not going to do everything there. So we must have a set of activities to do, right? This is task A, task B, task C, like that. There should be a defined, organized activities. That is called work, and that totally the goal and the activities that you're going to perform to reach the goal are called the scope, children. That is called project scope. Then you know two things. One is project must have a time frame, start date, end date, and a time period. Then it must have a scope, right? Then it should have a budget. There should be a cost to do the project. Then by combining these three together, we can define a project, children. An activity which has a time, goal, and a cost. The scope, right? Time, scope, and a cost is called a project. In simple words, right? Again, I want to remind you that when you're selecting the projects, when in the assignment and you select the projects, it's really important that you should select the projects with minimum budget, children, right? Don't go for large budgets. So always try to select a project that you can do with the very minimum less amount of a cost. Okay. Right, children, so come back to the lesson. And again, so that is how the triple constraints developed. It has a scope with a goal and activity. It has a time with a start date, end date, and a period. It has a cost, right? So those are then called as the triple constraint of the project. Then the project is actually, these things are discussed with you, I think, last day. So it's according to PMI, Project Management Institute. That's a international institute related to project management, right? So then international body of the project management, then it define a project as any temporary initiative planned and executed to achieve a specific goal, right? So then that is defined with the factors that we discussed, right? It has a temporary initiative. Temporary means it has a end date, start date and end date. That's why it's called temporary. Planned and executive achieved a specific goal, right? Very organized set of activities to achieve a goal with a defined beginning and end. Then that is called a project. Then children, you should be able to identify when some activities are given, which activities are projects actually, real projects, right? Okay. Assume that there is a girl and a boy, right? Then boy has a feeling that he should start a relationship with the girl. Then he gonna have a time period within this year, 2026, or let's say within this month, before the new year, I'm going to have a relationship with this girl. So then he has start point, an end point, and a period, right? He has 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the new year, then end date. One condition is satisfied, right? So children, we're gonna identify how we can differentiate a project from an activity, right? Okay. So then there's a goal, right? What's the goal? An objective to make a relationship with the girl, and he may have some other goals as well, like marrying, having children, and all. So then, however, the main there is a goal, right? Okay, then that satisfies the project requirements again. Then what he gonna do? He gonna schedule some task, plan, activities, giving a gift, having some cup of tea, then some having some chats, right? So like that, he gonna plan it. Okay, now the schedule work is there and scope is there then, right? We had a goal and scope, then time period. So all these things are characteristics of a project, right? Okay, we'll see. Now finally goal is achieved, right? So then there was a start date, end date, and task, a scheduled task for to achieve the goal. Finally, that is achieved, right? I don't know where they are going, but however, now the project is not the project actually, their task is completed. Now we should think whether this is a project. What do you think, children? Is a boy work in a project or not? What do you think? You can analyze with the knowledge that you have, right? So what are the things you should be that should be in the project? It must have a start date, end date, and a period. So the boy had start today, before the new year, April 14th, end date, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then he gonna do it. Then that part is complete, right? Yes, very good. Please reply in chat. What do you think, right? Through that, we can go ahead with the discussion. Then about the goal and the scope. Project has a goal and a scope. Here the boy had a goal, right? To have a relationship with the girl and beyond that. Then activities. Have a coffee, give a gift, and something like that. He may plan some activities. So then scope is there, right? Again, budget, a cost. Definitely, there's a cost. If you're having a tea, if you're having a dinner, if you're having a lunch, there's a cost, right? So then he can plan a budget as well. For the coffee from this shop, 20 rupees, right? So like that, he can just plan it. Even the gift, the cost is this one. Like that, he can prepare a budget even, right? Okay. So then ultimately that is achieved. So what's your idea? Is this project? Everyone, please try to reply in chat. What do you think? Just analyze the knowledge you have, right? Okay. Some have said that is a project and not like, okay, let's discuss. So children, actually this is not a project, right? So if that is a project, there must be a objective, business related objective, children. Business is not always earning money. Business is kind of a money related value at the end for a project. That's the important part, right? Yes, good. There are different replies actually. The relationship is a continued one, yes. So then we can say that's not a project, right? Yes, good. Okay. So then children, actually the most important thing is if something to be considered as a project, it must have a business value, right? Building a house is a project, children. It has a business value because it gives you a gain. And once you build the house, it's closed, it's over. After that, you're gonna earn or you're gonna leave whatever the business gain comes after that, right? So developing a software, developing a building project, a bridge, again, children developing a website, implementing a new business idea, that is also a project, children. So before this month, you must go with the new business idea, right? That's a project. Again, making a video, children, music video, it's a project. Then making a road and organizing an event, a CSR activity, right? All these are projects, children, because all these comes with the ultimate a business value, right? Okay, then the things that you discussed last days, normally project over budget. So what happens that when we budget a project activities, over budgeting is a very common issue comes with a very common problem comes with these current projects. That is because there are so many uh, money related fluctuations in our country. Then children, not only for that, because of the changes at the middle of the project also, then this over budget issue comes that arise. For example, let's take constructing a building. When we are constructing the building, we're going to budget according to the current situation, right? Then the customer may say, when you have build a wall, customer may say, this wall is not good enough. We have to remove that one and you have to make this in other way. So like that, the user always give suggestions and changes. Again, there can be some mistakes even. So user may say like, this wall is not in the plan, but you have built it. Remove that. Right? So like that, plan changes. Those things are there. Right? So then with those activities, with those things, always this over budgeting issue comes. Then it is really important how you're going to plan the project and budget the project. You have to keep some contingencies for these changes in your budget, right? So that is how we're going to prepare a budget. So we'll discuss under the budget there. So one issue comes with project is, or the triple constraint is over budgeting. The other one, children, scope creep. So we are focusing this into the triple constraints now, right? One is cost. With the cost, we are facing a problem called over budgeting. Scope creep means always our scope going to be changed. That can be due to some customer request, change request. So while you are developing a house, a constructing project, then customer may say, I want to do the landscaping as well, right? Again, there can be some tree or rock that you have removed from the land. Again, there can be some natural disasters. There's like a tree can be fallen into the wall and it will destroy it. We have to develop that again. So like that, what happens, even that we have planned our scope very clearly at the beginning, always there are changes to the scope. Additional work will be added. So then that is called scope creep. So then this happens when the project is not going on the planned procedure, right? So then the most common reason for this scope creep is making change requests by the users, I mean the customers. Scope creep, right? The other one is overschedule. The time that you have allocated for a activity is not enough. That is called overscheduling. That is also a problem, children. So for all these problems, the same impact can happen, right? So for example, there is a heavy rainy time, rainy period, right? In this rainy period, people are not going to work. Then what happen? It will increase the time period of the project. Again, you have to bear additional cost because you have to pay salaries and all, rents and all. Even people are not working. Then over budgeting, over scheduling, over budgeting. And again, due to the rain, there can be flooding and some extra cleaning will be added to the activity. Then that is scope creep. Like that, with one impact, right? One impact that I mean one problem or one thing that completely affect the entire three constraints, right? Everyone, give me 1 minute. Right, children. So then these are the common problems comes with the triple constraints, right? Okay. Then, for example, see, construction deadline. So a construction company is building a new office complex for a client, right? The client requested to move into the building month earlier. So those are the changes. So client is now requesting, I want to move into the office a month before the deadline given. So then the project manager might accommodate the request by increasing the budget and bringing the large crew to the finish the project faster. Then, so a project manager can think like what he gonna do. He's going to uh, increase the budget. I mean, bear the cost and put a larger workforce into the project and complete it within the before 1 month, right? In some cases that is possible, in some cases that is not possible, because there are some activities that it takes the exact time. You can do that earlier. So however, we should think, as people who has this project management knowledge, we should think whether increasing the budget and applying more crew or more labors into the project is the solution to be taken here. So then it's really important how we're going to manage the customer change this. So that is called change management, right? Whether you're going to accommodate the change or not. That's the skill of the project manager. So one decision can ruin the entire project, children, right? Then it's really important how you think about this one. So then here in this case, what project manager has done is he has increased the budget and apply or hire more labors to the project. Then that is not a good solution, right? You can see. So actually what you can do as a project manager there. So you should prioritize certain areas of the building to finish earlier, right? Then you can discuss with the client. He can move into the office while your construction is going on. So that is what called project management, children. So that's the manager's role there, not to accommodate all the changes requested by the client, right? You should think about the scope creep, over budgeting, and over scheduling. Those are the problems that you have to face when conducting the project that arise when you're going to manage these triple constraints, right? Okay. Is that clear, everyone? Why this knowledge is really essential to you? As project managers, you are not going to go for the easiest decision. You must think and you must go for a balanced decision always, right? Then then you need this knowledge. Okay. Then we'll go forward, children. So how you can manage the triple constraints? Children, you must understand non-negotiables. What are non-negotiables then? So in projects, there can be, children, the things cannot be changed. For example, assuming that you are working under a foreign fund, right? They have given 100 million or 10 million or something, right? For a project to constructing a building. Then if there are changes happen, you are not allowed to increase the budget, children, because that is a fund and it's already given. See? So then that is a non-negotiable, because we can't say, "Oh, okay, I'll bear the fund and I'll bear the cost and do this one like that." You can't do that because it's a non-negotiable, the fund cost. Again, in some cases, time also non-negotiable, because if there are some additional or extra planning are there after this project is done, then you have to complete the project exactly within the given date. Then that is a non-negotiable. Again, there are some activities like, let's say, laying the slab of the rooftop. When you lay the slab, it takes time to be fixed, right? මේකට වෙලාවක් ගත වෙනවා. So then you can't reduce that time. It's a non-negotiable. Like that, in your project, you must identify very clearly what are the non-negotiables, what are things you can't change. Again, children, you must aware with other factors. What are these other factors? That can be weather conditions. So if this war is coming now, you must know about the situation of the war if you're going to start a project, right? Then the political situation of the country. If an election comes on, so there can be changes. So like that, you must aware of the other factors with impact to your project. Then really important that you should be able to communicate with the stakeholders. So stakeholders are your clients, right? Or the other relevant parties to your project. Then communication is really a skill of a project manager should develop. Negotiation skills, right? So then separately, you can study how to negotiate with clients, what are the techniques that you have to use, even through your eyes, you can do some negotiations, right? There are techniques how to uh, handle these customers. The gesture techniques are there by just looking at the eye, keeping silence, be in silence like that. So there are so many techniques, children. So if you're gonna be a manager or marketing, anyone in the industry, then you should learn these things, improve these skills, negotiation skills in yourself, right? So that is one of the part of a project manager to handle these problems. Then time management. So it's really important that gonna have milestones, and again the time allocated to those milestones. Then work breakdown, we're going to discuss that in next slides, right? So it's really important that you divide your project into manageable smaller pieces. Then then it becomes an achievable project, achievable goal objectives, right? Again, you can use digital tools for that. There are so many project management softwares and tools. We're going to discuss them in the project, in the lecture series. So then you can work with those tools and techniques as well, right? We can very clearly manage the time. Then scope management. So again, make aware about all stakeholders about the project scope, the activities that you have to perform, right? Then change management process is really important. How you gonna accommodate changes? How you gonna reject changes? There must be a specific policy of doing that. Again, regular reviews are really important. Review means every day you're gonna check whether the project is in line. It goes with the schedules, right? You should monitor that one. Then you can avoid the scope creep. Like that, children, for all these three problems, there are some techniques that you should learn how to avoid or how to minimize these problems. Okay. So then through the lesson, children, I can share you these things must be learned, and those additional skills, learning those additional skills is up to you, children. Then only you can perform yourself in a higher level when you're going to go out of the industry. Okay. Right. So in the first part, we just discuss about project triple constraints and why the planning is important in a project. Right? What are the problems can be arise and why we should very clearly plan the project. Anything to ask? Anything? Any questions, children? Okay. Then we'll move forward. So once a wise man has said that all models are wrong, children. So then there are so many models in the world, right? Triple constraints, and there are so many models I think we have learned in the world. So there are so many theories in the world that we can apply with different things. But George says that all models are wrong, and again some are useful because in the project, children, even that we have planned a project 100% clearly and perfectly, that will not work according to the plan. That is why he says all models are wrong, right? Now we can learn some model, children, right? But you must keep in your mind that the real situation will not work according to our models and theories and the plans that we have made. But they are really useful, right? They are very, very useful. That is why we are going to learn project scheduling and planning today. Okay, right. Children, then when you're going to plan a project, so there are additional factors that you should consider. One is quality, children. So you must aware what is quality in a project. So quality is not always the best thing, right? So quality is actually what the client expect. That is called, children, expected quality, right? For example, if we're gonna again, it's really easy that we are using a construction project. So they are, let's say, painting, right? Color washing the building. So then, children, the quality paints are there with waterproof and chemical free things are there, right? But that is really cost. Again, there are some low cost paintings are there, right? But those are fade within 1 year, 2 year, and again, not good for the health. Like that, there are low quality paintings are there. So if the customer says, I can spend this much of money, I have budgeted only this amount for this color washing of the building, then, children, quality depends on that, right? So you can go to the maximum quality with the allocated budget and the time. Then really important that you always have a good understanding about the quality and what is expected quality. You should always maintain the expected quality in the project. Risk. There will be a separate lesson about risk management, children. So risk also one concern. A project manager should create a risk management plan, children. So risk is employees can be weaker. I mean, so there can be health related issues, environmental issues, right? Again, budget related issues. So you must analyze those risks. Then you should prepare the risk management plan and you have clear understanding how to overcome this risk. Then benefits, children. So there are different type of benefits can be obtained from a project. So stakeholders, they will get financial benefits and again material benefits and those things. Even your team also get benefits through a project, right? What they get? They will get skills. They'll improve their experience. They will learn new methods and procedures. In some cases, there can be new innovations when you are doing the project, right? Those are the benefits that you can gain as a project manager. Then when you're going to work in a project, you must aware that what are the benefits. Then you should assign your team to maximize the benefit that returns to you from the project. That is a good skill of a good project manager. So like that, by keeping all these ideas, children, we are going to move to the project planning, right? Okay. Children, in the world, there are several models. Actually, we know that all these models are not work properly, but we are learning them because those are useful to apply, right? Okay. So then, in the world, there are several project management methods, very popular ones, famous ones, and again, there are more, but we're going to discuss most famous and most common ones, right? So then, one is waterfall method, agile method, scrum method, Kanban method, and like that, linear project management, Six Sigma. So like that, there are different project methodologies. So actually what a methodology is, how we can do the project, how we can manage our team, how to assign workforce to the project. So like that, these steps are defined in different ways in these methodologies, right? So depending on our project, its time period, cost and everything, we can choose which type of a project methodology that we're going to follow. Because each of these methodology, they have their own benefits and again, disadvantages as well, pros and cons, right? එක project එකට එක විදිහට තියෙනවා මේ වගේ වාසි සහ වාසි methodologies. So then we're going to discuss those, children, right? The first methodology we're going to discuss is the waterfall methodology, right? Children, you can see in the word of waterfall methodology, there are several steps, actually 6 steps that you can follow. The most important thing is this is a linear way of doing a project. Linear way is once you start the project, you're going to continue that project until here, right? You're going to start from the first requirement gathering from this point And then step by step, you are going to go forward. Children, this project methodology is good for very short period, short-term projects. Again, the projects, these are really important, right? So then you can go with this waterfall method if the project time period is short, right? Again, the requirements are very clear. So for example, you are going to build a house and there is a specific plan for the house, and within 3 months, you're gonna complete the project. And again, a cost is well defined and requirement is well defined. Then you can go with waterfall method. The main reason, children, in the waterfall method, the client going to see the final output here. That means after the completion of the project, the client will see the final output in this point. Then if something happens, something wrong happens in the requirement gathering phase, that is here, a wrong requirement is analyzed or observed, then that will be reflected at the end in this point. So you have already completed the project with all spending all the budget and time and everything, but the output will not be accepted by the client because he or she may say, this is not my requirement. This is not what I expected. Children, that is why this waterfall method is good for short-term projects. And the project which has very clear requirements, then you can very easily go with the waterfall method. So you can see, we're gonna collect requirements. After that, we're gonna design the project. After designing or planning it, we are going to implement the project, develop it. After developing, you should test whether everyone is working properly or the goals and objectives are achieved. Then you can allow the customers to use the project, the outputs. And after that, you should maintain the output. Right? So these are the steps. So normally this waterfall method is used with software projects. Right? Developing softwares, developing websites, developing small houses. Right? Again, developing a bridge, right? Small bridge. So in those situations, you can use this waterfall method, children. Is that clear one? Waterfall method? Okay, next one is agile methodology. Children, this agile methodology is very popular one in the world now. Most software companies, software development companies, they are working with this agile methodology, and again the other projects as well. So in agile project management, you can see the characteristics now. So it's a collaborative, evolving and collaborative, children, right? It's called evolving and collaborative. The meaning of that is always the project team and the client also engage with the project. And collaborative means everyone together discuss the things and do it together. Okay, all the teams gonna work together. That's called collaborative. So it's self-organized. That means each team gonna plan the daily activities by themselves. Self-organized. Okay. So children, in this agile method, what happens actually is, assume that there is a project team, and project team initially going to collect information or the requirements from the customer, and the project team is going to meet together and take a meeting. That is called a kick-off meeting, children. Kick-off. We'll discuss them, right? Okay, kick-off meeting. So in the kickoff meeting, they're going to discuss all the planning and everything. Then they're going to start the project. Next time also, they are going to discuss and take some input from the customer as well, the client. Then again, make changes to the project. Then again, do it. Again, changes and discussions. Again, changes and discussions. So it goes as a spiral, but in any point, they can give a release. Release means children an output. They can give a part of the project to the customer as an output. That is what agile method. So it's we're going to discuss about the agile method further, children. But for a brief understanding, now in the agile method, what we do, we always discuss with the customer, discuss the requirement, discuss the problems, discuss the work that we have done. With the discussions, this moving forward. That's why it's called agile. Always evolving and collaborative, right? Okay. So then in agile project management, there are some key features. The first one is called user stories, children. So then the project team is going to collect information from the client and they are going to prepare them as or consider them as user story because users normally has a story, right? I want to do something like this and therefore for that I need a software. Again, I have this kind of issue, then I need to build in like this one here. And I want to prepare a video, music video, something. So these are my requirements. And again, if I want to organize an event, so these are my requirements and this is my goal objectives like that. They have a story. So children, the important thing is now these stories are written in user's point of view, no technical jargons, right? මේක ලියවෙන්නේ userට ඕනි විදිහට. ඒ කියන්නේ user කියන විදිහට. I want this type of a thing, this type of interface, this type of a building like that, right? So they should explain their goals and objectives, what they're going to achieve through the project. That's what they're going to describe actually. So then this will enough for the team to have a clear understanding about how much of effort that they have to put to complete this user story. That's the important thing. Is that clear, children? In agile method, the first thing is user stories, right? So in the user story, we're going to written down that it is the way that how the user going to describe his requirement. That is the user story. And while reading the user story, the project team will be able to identify the effort that they have to put. Effort means their time, cost, and everything, skills and all to complete the project, right? Okay. User story. Then children, sprint. So sprint is a planning meeting, children. And normally it will be taken usually within a week, 3 weeks like that. And here the stories will be pasted. So this is the billboard that they're going to use. So again, you can have an idea. So now we have the user requirement, right? User has given us their requirement. And the project is now going to be divided into activities, right? Activities. And normally they're going to decide sprint is a period of 1 week, 2 week, or 3 week. Let's say it's a 2 week period, a sprint. So within this 2 weeks period, they're going to perform these activities, right? Then next 2 weeks, a set of activities. Next 2 weeks, another set of activities. Another different user story will be addressed or anyhow. Right. So in between these sprints, the project team will take meetings here. Right. So then in these meetings, they'll discuss what are the work they have completed, what are the things to be done in next sprint, and what are the backlogs. That means what are the things that they couldn't complete and what are the issues. So they will discuss after every 2 weeks in a meeting about these things. Again, while working with the project, after another 2 weeks, they are going to take a meeting and discuss what they have done, what is next to be done, and what are the backlogs. That means what are the problems arising, why some activities being delayed. So they will apply solutions for that from there. So children, a sprint is called then a period of time that they are working to achieve a milestone. එක milestone එකක් complete කරගන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ ගන්න කාලයට තමයි අපි සාමාන්‍ය sprint එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. So after every sprint they're going to discuss. ඒගොල්ලෝ මෙයාලා සාකච්ඡා කරනවා ඊළඟට මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? කරන එකේ තිබු ගැටලු මොනවද? Then next 2 weeks. So the period of the sprint will be normally 1 to 3 weeks and the project team will decide how long that will be. That's the important part of this agile meeting, sprint meetings, sprints. Is that clear? Yeah. Questions? It's actually backlog. Log means they are going to keep records about what is lagging, right? It's called backlog, right? So the backlog, you can see the tasks that are not started, which are in progress. So if those are not started yet, there can be some issues. Those will be discussed, right? Everyone, if you have questions, please ask questions, right? Again, children, there are some other, so this is sprint, children. The other is called Scrum, right? Scrum is a group of team members. That is called a Scrum. Normally, Scrum comes with rugby, right? Rugby Scrum. That's a group of players working on that, right? So, so this is something like this. Scrum is a small group, actually. That's the meaning, Scrum, small group. So then they're going to have daily stand-up Scrum meetings. Daily stand-up, right? The word is important, stand-up. Stand-up means, children, they are not going to sit. They're going to standing up there and have a meeting, maximum 15 minutes. No more than 15 minutes, right? So it's a meeting that they're going to have in every morning, in the morning, to discuss the work ahead for the day. දවසේ කරන්න තියෙන වැඩ ටික කතා කරන්න තමයි meeting එක ගන්න. Every day. So sprint meeting is something else, right? Sprint is a period. Within the sprint, they're going to take daily Scrum meetings. So Scrum is a group. Stand up means they are not going to sit because they're going to very quickly they're going to go away to work, right? So they will meet together for 15 minutes and discuss what are the things to be done today and from yesterday, what are the things lacking, and then they will apply solutions for that. Then go to work. That is called, children, Scrum meeting, right? In Agile method, Scrum meetings are really important. If you're following Agile method for your project, so then you must have Scrum meetings every morning. And you should divide the workload into sprints, right? Again, you can say Scrum methodology. So then there are some deviations from this Agile method as well. So some project teams, they follow a part of this Agile method. So that is called Scrum methodology. So here Scrum is a short sprint, a short time period. So normally in a project team, there'll be no more than 10 people. Few people will be there. Again, similarly, they're gonna divide their work into activities which they can perform within 1 to 2 weeks. And again, while taking the meetings, they're gonna do that. It's actually a subsection of the agile method, but however, Scrum methodology is also there. Because some people are following Scrum methodology other than the agile, right? So in every the real situation is no one is following the exact agile method in their project planning and all, because that is why I earlier said the methods and tools are there, right? Those are not very properly working in the real conditions, but they are useful. Then what we're gonna do? We're gonna plan our project according to applying those theories and models, but we can customize that, right? Children, normally this Scrum method, there are small teams working on the project. In every small team, there is a person called Scrum Master, right? Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is the lead of that team. So Scrum Masters are responsible for taking the short-term meetings and addressing user stories and completing the project. So then this is also a part of the agile project management method, right? So project owner. So owner will give you the stories. Then planning meetings and backlog will be maintained. So Scrum Master is responsible for all of this. Then they also gonna take daily stand-up meetings. Within 1 to 2 weeks, they're gonna work on one activity, one milestone. When that is completed, that will be delivered or show to the customer, present to the customer. Again, next sprint starts. ඊළඟ sprint එක පටන් ගන්නවා. They're gonna take daily meetings every day morning, complete that, deliver the next output. That can be a tangible output or a presentation, right? That is how it goes. So children, after every sprint, Scrum, the customer give their feedback. Then it's really low, what we call low percentage or low probability of having mistakes. මේක අපිට වරදින්න තියෙන probability එක ගොඩක් අඩුයි ඒ නිසා. හරිද? Kanban methodology is something, all these comes together, children. So in Kanban methodology, we are using a billboard. That billboard is Kanban, right? So this is a Japanese practice. What they do when they are doing the project, they divide it into actually 3 activities, 3 sections. To do, doing, and done. So then they're going to paste all the activities in the project team going to do individually or team wise in the to do area, right? So once a project team, one team takes the activity, that will be moved to the doing area with all the detail of the project team and all. Now it's under doing area. Then after complete that activity or the milestone, they will move that activity into the done area. So it's really important to monitor the project and very clearly keep a project in the schedule, right? That's called Kanban methodology. So then always now project in real-time projects, actually all these mix of all these methods are applied, right? Children, the other one is again from the Japan. It's called it's Toyota Way. Toyota company, they are using another project management method that is called lean project management. In lean project management, children, they always trying to delivering value to the customer and minimize the waste. That is their focus in the lean project management. So that methodology is arranged to deliver a value to the customer, a new thing always, right? And minimize the waste. So here the waste means not only the money, right? Or the leftovers. Waste is even the working hour of a man, an employee, a team member is a waste, considered as waste if he or she is doing something without a big impact to the final objective. මොකක් හරි final objective එකට අදාළව නැති දෙයක් කරනවා නම් employee කෙනෙක්, that is considered as a waste. That is considered as a waste, children. Right? Okay. In lean project management, they are using 3M concept. 3M is Muda, Mura, and Muri. So then Muda means time and effort wasted on activities that provide no value to the customer. So then that means some employees may doing some things like preparing reports, right? Then some, let's say, some cleaning activities we doesn't have to do, right? For example, a person is there who is cleaning the office every morning and the evening, right? So then they will think in some cases cleaning in the evening is not giving a value to the customer, so that is not important. Then they will think that as a waste of the employee's time, right? In some cases, there can be some additional forms and reports to fill, right? So then if that is not give a value to the customer, then the employee's time is wasted by filling those unwanted documents. Then that will be removed. So like that, every time they're going to identify waste and remove them. So Muda means time and effort. Mura means the resources. Even that can be a paper, right? If a person is filling unwanted document, then a waste of the paper, right? So they're going to every time identify the waste and reduce the waste of resources. That is Mura. Muri means overuse of a machine and employees. If an employee is working hours more than assigned hours, that is considered as a waste, children, because the project is scheduled, but employee is working more than that. Then that also will be reduced. So like that, they're going to identify these three waste, Muda, Mura, and Muri. Then they're going to focus only to the deliverables, what they're going to give to the customer at the end. So everything will be focused for that to give a good quality output, and all the other unwanted things are identified as waste in every cycle. Then they will be removed or changed. So this is not just apply just to one project, right? So always think that these project people, they are doing multiple projects. Their life is doing projects. That is how these lean project management kind of methods work, children. So they're gonna do a project. Through the project, they're gonna identify what are the waste, and in the next project, they're gonna change those things. Again, in the same project, they're gonna identify what are the waste which are not giving value to the customer. Then they're gonna change it. So like that, this is a ongoing process, children. Not applying for just one project. That's what should keep in the mind. මේගොල්ලෝ මේ එක project එකක් කරලා නවතිනව නෙවෙයි. They are not going to stop by doing one project. Every project they are developing. Right? Okay, so that is called lean project management, right? So as the steps they have, plan, do, check, act. What is that? Plan. They're going to plan the project. First project. So assume that there are multiple projects they are working, right? So first project, they're going to plan it. Do it. Do the project. Check. Check means, children, they're going to check about this waste. Whether it wastes the time, resources, and effort of people. Then act. Act means they're going to apply solutions for those waste. That is called act. Here in the circle, right? Again, plan. Next project, they're going to plan. Do it, check again, then apply solutions for the waste. So like that, it goes as a cycle for each project. right? Okay. The other one is Six Sigma method. Even that is called Six Sigma. There are five steps are there. So this is introduced by the Motorola company. So it always it's wanted to always identify and reduce defects and errors, right? So earlier in this linear project management, what they want to reduce the waste and give maximum benefit to the customer, value to the customer. In the Six Sigma method, what they want is to reduce the defects and errors, minimize variations, minimize changes, and increase quality and efficiency. That is what they expect from this project management method, Six Sigma. You can see the steps starting from define, measure, analyze, improve, control. So here what they do actually, they're going to define some policies. An employee should work only 6 hours per day. Then they're going to measure it. When employees work 6 hours a day, whether that is going properly. Yeah, that is going now. Analyze. Then they're going to analyze the productivity. If employee works 6 hours a day, what's the productivity? Then they analyze and check it. Then improve. What are the defects and all? What are the errors that can happen, right? So improve. So what are the solutions that you can improve? What are the steps that you can apply to improve this one? And control. Apply that one. Again, define another project. So like that, they always measure, analyze, improve, and control. Through that, they're going to always keep or minimize the errors and keep the quality and efficiency. That is the Six Sigma method. Okay. So see, define requirements, goals, and expectations, and determine defects and gather metrics. So in measure, they will determine what are the errors happen and analyze. So what are the parameters, what are the results according to those measures? Then they will analyze that one. Then innovative solutions going to be applied in improve section to minimize the defects. Then those analysis results or there are new innovations gonna apply to the project, right? To understand this one, children, here there is example for you. So think that you are managing a project, reduce delays in customer order delivery, right? So it's a project to deliver the customer orders. In the define section, what you do? Customer report late deliveries, right? That is what you got. Customer has report late deliveries. Parak vela දෙනවා කියලා report කරලා තියෙනවා. So then that's a defect, children, in the project or the error, right? Measure. ඔයාලා measure කරනවා ඊළඟට. කොච්චරක්ද මේ කියන කතාව වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Then 25% of orders are delayed by 3 or plus days. 125ක් දවස් 3ක් හෝ ඊට වැඩිය පරක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. That's the measure. Analyze. Then to find the root cause if bottleneck where the warehousing packing. So then analyze. They're going to analyze how these data, what these data reflect actually. They're going to analyze that. Then they're going to find the root cause, the problem, where that the reason is. Then they have seen that warehouse packing is the issue. Pack කරනකොට තමයි මේ delay එක වෙන්නේ. Then improve. Then innovative solutions, automate labeling. Pack කරනකොට label කරන්න machine එකක් ගියනවාද? That is improve. So then after implementing those innovative idea, they're going to control, monitor that, whether their problem is solved or not. Again, it gives us another circle for the other defect. So that is how the Six Sigma project works. Okay, so children, these are the project management styles or methodologies that we're going to discuss, children. So then, depending on each methodology, you can choose a method that according to the project you engage with, which project you can go. Again, children, for the subject, what you must know is what are the main characteristics of each project management style or the methodology, and what are their benefits, what are their disadvantages, and which type of projects you can apply that. Right? Those things must be very clear to you related to these project management styles or the methodologies. Right. Children, any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay, children, then let's move to the other part. So, children, now we're going to discuss about some tools and methods we can apply in project planning. So then this is the sample project that we're going to use in that case to practice, right? So then it is about awareness camping of the drug prevention for the school children, venue, collaborations, medical office of health and Kuliapidi police station, like that there are collaborations and date is there, target group is there. So now this is the sample project, children, we're going to do in planning and scheduling, right? Okay. So then let's take a break, children, about 10 minutes. Now it's 10:30. We're going to start by 10:40. Okay. So then we are in the first section, conceptual and initialization. And again, we're going to discuss about definition and planning. Okay. So let's have the break then, right? Okay. So then now we have already discussed project conception and initialization. So then we're going to discuss today project planning, right? Okay. So you know that according to this PMI, there is a global requirement of project management is 87.7 million project management roles by 2027. Right? When it comes to 2027, they predict that in the world globally, there will be 87.7 million requirement for project management and project management people. And that is a heavy development of, the area, the subject, right? Because when it comes to that AI development and everything, this is a job role which cannot be replaced, children. The project manager's role is really essential in every project. That is not a one to be replaced. So then you can develop yourself as a project manager by learning the subject and again studying the relevant other field. And again, there are some professional courses and programs. Then you can do them as well. And you can join a company as a project manager, right? Then why these project managers are necessary? Because in terms of budgets, 78% of budgets go over budget or it's experience timeline delays. So more than 78% of these projects are failed due to this budget over budgeting and over scheduling. Even good project managers are there. It's really difficult to handle projects with the changing or dynamic situations in environments, right? Again, in most of the companies, organizations that they have listed project management as a top priority in their area, in their business. Then children, it's a grooming job title or a very emerging area that you study project management, right? Okay, when it comes to the project planning and scheduling, children, these are things that you have to do there. One is defining objectives and the goals of your project. So it's really important if there is a project, it must have a goal and objective. Then explaining the scope So with the goal and objective, the scope is defined with the work that you have to perform to achieve that goal or the objective. That is called the scope, the things that you have to do, right? Then scheduling task. There are some techniques also, some tools that you can use in scheduling, but however, you must very clearly schedule the project. In this period, we're going to do this activity and complete that activity in this period, like that, you're going to schedule it. Then progress reports. So monitoring the project progress is important. And again, in planning also, you must prepare how you're going to monitor your project. You must ready to do that within the planning phase, right? Then if you plan your project very properly, then it will ensure the project success and timely delivery, right? With the experience, you can plan your project. We will discuss where the experience needs in project planning and scheduling. There are a lot of areas that you need your experience and expertise, right? Okay. So then you can deliver the project timely in the deadlines. Then that increase the customer satisfaction, children. If you develop a project near to the time period that you have agreed to do it, then that will improve the customer satisfaction. So these are the benefits that you can have with a good plan. Okay. Then reduction of risk and project failures. So the project failures, that will reduce the project failures if you work on a plan. Effective use of funds and resources, really important. So that will reduce the waste of funds, right, and resources as well. So now you must have a clear understanding why planning is so important, right? In the paper also there can be questions like why project planning is necessary. Then you should answer in these areas why that is important. Other than doing the project planning, you must put a very attention, a good attention into that project planning phase, right? Children, to define our scope, cost, resources, time, and skills needed, and everything, we are preparing an initial diagram in project planning that is called work breakdown structure. So it defines all the project needs to accomplish, organized into multiple levels and display in graphically. So with the work breakdown structure, you can move forward with all the other plannings, time scheduling, budgeting, resource allocation, resource planning, and everything, right? So the basic structure or the basic tool that you have to use is the work breakdown structure. Okay, we shall see. So these are the characteristics, children. It has a hierarchy. It has the main activity, sub-activities. Again, those sub-activities are divided into small activities. So even more that you divide your activities into smaller, then that will be easy for you to planning. Right? You should maintain the hierarchy of these activities and you must divide that into the atomic activities. Right? Okay. So what's an atomic activity, children? Atoms are the smallest part of a physical thing, right? Udama ekaka අපි atom එකක් කියලා ගන්න. ඊට කුඩාව තව තියෙන ඕන තරම්. That is to be considered as the smallest particle of a unit. So then atomic activity means the activities which can perform individually and which cannot be divided further are called atomic activities. Right? For example, assume that you are going to plan an event in the university. So you are going to give a lunch to the participants, right? So then in your project, lunch to the participant is one section. So then under a subsection, lunch is listed in the hierarchy. Hierarchy, the lunch in a subsection, providing lunch. Again, providing lunch divided into more, right? Prepare area, prepare location, right? Again, order lunch. Then payments to the lunch. Like that, you're going to divide that into another 3 sub activities. Again, you must think then, are these the atomic activities? So in our example, we are going to have some campaign, right? So they are in the campaign, you're going to provide you lunch. So providing lunch is one subsection in the second layer, and that is divided into further subsections, sub activities like arranging the location, then providing the lunch and payments. Again, you must think, let's take arranging the location. Is that the atomic activity? No, right? That should be divided further. Arranging chairs, arranging tables, cleaning, taking permissions if you need, if you're taking some public place. That is that divided into further. Again, you have to think whether this is the atomic activity. So arranging tables. So then that can be divided further. Contact a table provider. Then transport. Again, transport them back to the supplier. Right? Like that, it divide further, and further. So like that, you must divide all these activities until it becomes an atomic activity, which can perform individually without breaking into more sections. So that will be a then large document, right? But depending on the project, it's really easy for you if you divide that into the manageable pieces, right? Okay, 100% rule, really important. 100% rule means, so once the bottom layer of your hierarchy must represent the 100% of the project. That means you haven't missed any activity in the project. That's a simple meaning. So when we combine all the child activities, so you know what is child and parent activity, right? So if we divide something into an hierarchy, so these are parent activities. This is parent and these are child. This is parent, this is child. So if we consider the other section, if I consider this section, then this is parent, this is child. If I have further divided this into like this, now this become child and this become parent, right? So like that, this is a parent-child relationship is there in hierarchy, right? So these child activities, these are the child activities now. So these child activities 100% represent the main project. That's the rule. Simply, we haven't missed any activity there, right? Then mutual exclusive. So mutually exclusive means this can be done individually. This can be done individually. This can be done individually. So these are not depend on each other. That is called mutually exclusive. So these are not overlapping children. So part of this is not there, right? Like that, not overlapping. That's called mutual exclusive. While I'm discussing children, if you have questions, you can ask, right? Outcome focused. So then the activities that you're going to list here must focus to the outcome only, right? So that should directly focus the outcome and only the necessary activities should be listed there. So while listing all the activities, you can cut off some activities because that is not focusing the output. We'll see how we can do that, right? So that is how you can develop the hierarchy. Okay. So then these are the characteristics. And further, benefits of the WBS, work breakdown structure. So it's help you to schedule the project because you know what are the all activities that you have to do. So you should schedule the child activities there. Accountability. That means you can very easily monitor. This is done, this is done, this is done, this is done, this is to be completed. 100% of these activities are completed now. Like that, as a percentage, you can measure the progress of the project. If you know all the activities that you have to do within the project through the WBS, work breakdown structure. Then commitment. Then you can assign resources and responsibilities. You must do this part, you must do this part, you must do this part, like that. Then these are resources that you need. So like that, you can assign commitment and responsibilities to the team with the breakdown. Reduce ambiguities. Then that will reduce all the ambiguities. That means people in your team are very clearly know that this is the activity that they should do, right? That's very clearly defined, right? Now no ambiguities. It's clear. කිසිම පැටලවිල්ලක් නැතුව හරියටම දන්නවා කෙනා මොකක්ද මම කරන්න ඕන ටාස්ක් එක. මෙන්න මේක කරන්න. ඒක කරපුවා මෙන්න ඊළඟට එන මේක. මේක කම්ප්ලීට් වෙනවා. මේක කම්ප්ලීට් වෙනවා. මෙන්න මේව හරියම ලස්සනට හැමෝම දන්නවා what they should do. එයාලා මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Right? Those are the main benefits that you can have when you create the work breakdown structure in your project. So through your work breakdown structure, you can move into budgeting, then resource allocation, and time planning, and everything can be done using the work breakdown structure, right? Okay. Children, I'll show you some examples like some methods or styles that you can develop the work breakdown structure. This is one way of doing it. You can make that as a list. First task, subtask, then third layer of the subtask, then 2.1, 2.2, like that. You can develop that as a list, right? That is one way of presenting your work breakdown structure. And children can use a table even. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, like that you can go forward. And for each level, the activities you can list. So you have an idea, just looking at the diagram or the table, you can have an idea, right? So if not, please ask. This is the other way. You can define that as a flow chart. Level 1 task, level 2 task, like that. Using a flow chart, you can define that. Okay. So then you should be able to divide your activities of the project into the smaller activities, right? Then children, depending on this one, you can prepare the resource breakdown structure as well. So example here I have given is preparing or making a chair, right? You need people, tools, and resources. You need a carpenter. As tools, you need hammer, saw, drill, and those things. Resources, you need wood, nails, glue, paints. So this is called a resource breakdown structure. So if you have, when you define the work breakdown structure, with that activities, you can develop or come into the resource breakdown structure there. So these are the activities or the tools that you have to use in planning a project, right? This is an example, children. Building a house, project management, foundation, building house, interior, landscaping, like that. That is divided into several sections. Then project management, project planning, scope work, plan resources, so sub activities. Foundation, laying foundation, draw blueprints, dig earth, get material, lay foundation, like that. It is further divided. Again, this should be divided further, right? So lay foundation, you have to bring raw materials and assign, like that you can further develop this one, but this is just an example, right? Building the house, then get material, construct pillars, construct walls, finishing plumbing and all that, right? Then interior, designing interior, furniture. So these are the activities like that. Depending on the project, you can prepare your own work breakdown structure. And your work breakdown structure, WBS must ensure that all these child activities, children. So these are the child activities, right? All these child activities, they clearly define or 100% define the main activity. 100%. So there shouldn't be any missing part here, right? Okay, now we have a challenge. Now you know what's the breakdown structure and you know our plan, right? I'll show you that again. Children, this is our project. If you want, you can take a screenshot or a photo. Right? Okay, so we are going to do a awareness program to educate school children on drug prevention. So we are going to make, our project is to organize a awareness program. That is our project, sample project. Okay. Now I want you to develop a work breakdown structure depending on your knowledge and experience you have for our project. Just children, try it by yourself. Just now you know have the knowledge. If you have questions, you can ask children. Just try to develop something, a work breakdown structure for our project, drug prevention campaign to the school children. Shall we start? I'll give you a few minutes. Everyone, please do that. Then only you can have a clear understanding about how you can prepare a work breakdown structure. That's really important for you to learn in your life, right? Okay, start now. Right, everyone, we shall see then. Compare with your ones, and again, if you have any different ideas, different things, you can share, right? So this is how I thought, right? So then I'm going to divide that into 4 sections in the layer 1. Coordinate collaborators, manage finance, coordinate schools, and coordinate the venue. So these are the activities that I thought. Then in the second step, coordinate collaborators, resource persons, time and schedules, handouts and materials like that. They manage finance, sponsors delivering sponsor benefit packages, record expenses. Then coordinate schools, I divide that into getting permissions, arrange transport, right? Then coordinate venue, book auditorium, arrange logistics, and like that. So I divide that into several activities. So like that, children, you should initially divide your project into these type of atomic activities. So this diagram is called work breakdown structure, right? Okay. So next one is a project scope statement. Children, project scope statement is a document that you're going to prepare. So we're going to include all these breakdown structures and everything there. So then in the project scope statement, these are the things that we're going to include. So after preparing the work breakdown structure, we're going to work with the project scope statement. Right. So then one is you should add project goals and objectives in the project scope statement. So normally goal is a end result of a project, which we can achieve in a long time, right? That's called project goal. So objective is children a short-term achievement, and that is specific. That means clearly mentioned and tangible outcome. We can see that, we can measure that, whether we have reached the objective or we have completed the objective. But a goal cannot be measured, children, because it's a long-term one. Right? We'll discuss the examples. Right. So see the definitions. Project goal. A goal can be defined as the end result a company wish to achieve as a long-term gain. Right. Okay. So for example, think that a company is planning on advertisement campaign, right? So they are planning on advertisement. So now the project is given to a advertising firm. So the project is to release or prepare a advertisement video. That's the project. So then project goal is children, you know that you can see the definition says it's a short term and concrete task that need to be executed in order and attain the end result. See, it has an end result. It's a very clearly defined achievement. That is an objective, right? So with example, we're going to prepare, the company is going to prepare advertisement video. So then one objective is finding locations. Sorry, not locations actually. Finalizing the script is one objective, a good script. Then record the video, the second objective. So now it has two objectives. One is write the script, then record the video. So once the script is written, now the objective is achieved. That is tangible. You can see now the tangible output is there, right? The script is there in the hand. So then the objective is completed. It is measurable. You can measure that this is there, right? Again, prepare the video, complete the music video, or sorry, advertisement video. Then once that is completed, it is there, right? So objective is done and tangible output is there, a video in our hand. So that is why objectives are called as a measurable and short-term achievements. So the goal is to have a good brand reputation. That is the goal. Preparing of this advertisement, the goal should be achieving a good brand reputation. So brand reputation, children, cannot be seen, cannot be touched. And just releasing the video, we can't achieve brand reputation. It's a long-term process, but this is also one part of it. Again, you can measure the brand population, brand promotion there. So goal is something like that. That is why we say goal is a long-term achievement, which is not measurable, which is not tangible. You can see that. In our example, the drug prevention campaign, the goal will be having a drug-free society. But just doing a campaign for the school children, we can't achieve that. But the goal should be that. Objectives, completing the event is our objective. Participation of the school children, objective. So like that, objectives can be defined. Those are tangible, right? Time duration, now you know. Project goals, 5 to 10 years. Objectives, 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, like that. Measurability, project goals are difficult to measure because there are no criteria to measure goals. But objectives, you can define your own criteria to measure objectives, percentage or anything. Then structure. Actually, goal doesn't have a defined structure, but objectives, it has a procedure, like by participation of students, one objective. Conducting lectures, awareness sessions, one objective. Complete the workshop at the end or getting feedback on objective. So one should be done after the other. So like that, a clear structure is there in objectives, but goals, you don't have it. Right? So if I ask you to define or differentiate goals and objectives in your project, in the examination paper even, you should know how to explain these things, right? Children, for example, then, for our project, we shall go with some goals and objectives, right? One is prevent school level younger generation from drug and drug addiction. That is our goal. See, it's really difficult to measure, but achievable, right? Again, just after doing the session, we can't achieve that. It's a long-term process. That is how a goal is. Then your project as well, you have to define goals then. Objectives, the things that we should complete. Objectives are to give an overall idea about the harmful results of drug addiction. That is one objective. To arrange live discussions with drug addictions. Objective. To explain the health and financial issues of using drug. To educate the participants through video evidences. To make aware the students about available drugs in Sri Lanka. Provide healthy lunch to participants. That is an objective, right? To complete the event, we need those. Okay. Children, now there is a tool called impact effort metric to measure our objectives, right? Whether we should apply this objective or how to prioritize our objectives, you can use this tool. This is called impact effort metric. Not only in the projects, even in your life decisions also, you can use this impact effort metric. Through that, you can decide whether you should do the thing or not. Project management විතරක් නෙවෙයි ජීවිතේත් මොන හරි දෙයක් කරන්න යනකොට ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මේ impact effort metric එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න මේ වැඩේ ඔයාලා කරනවද නැද්ද කියලා තීරණය කරන්න. ඔයාලා list එකේ තියාගන්නවද නැද්ද කියලා තීරණය කරන්න. In project management, we use this impact effort metric to measure or to prioritize our objectives. Children, in this metric, we have the y-axis is impact, the x-axis is effort. Then go with the names, right? So the first one we find is feelings, fill in. That means you can see it has a low impact and low effort. ලොකු මහන්සියක් ගන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. හැබැයි ලොකු බලපෑමක් එකට ඇති වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අපිට feelings කියලා. කියන්නේ ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් කරාට කමක් නැහැ. නේද? If you want to do it, you want to have it in your list, then it's okay to have it. Feelings. Here you can see quick wins. Very easily we can have a good impact. See, impact is high and the effort is low. Without a low effort, you can achieve a high impact. පොඩි මහන්සියක් දාලා ලොකු බලපෑමක් ගන්න පුළුවන් දේවල්. With a low effort, you can achieve a good thing, right? Those are called, children, quick wins. Quick win. Very quickly, it's a win because it gives a good impact. Quick win. So then you must have these quick wins in your objectives. So quick wins කියන area එකට අදාළ වෙන objectives අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයාලගේ objective list එකේ තියෙන්න ඕන. In your objective list, you must have quick wins. The objectives which you can put into this quick win section, which has high impact and low effort. Then major projects. The major activities that you have to do. The major objectives that you should keep in your project. Those are called major projects. See, impact is already high. Impact is high. Effort also high. You have to work hard to do that. But however, the impact is high, then you can keep major projects in your objectives. Okay. Then children, thinkless task, which you can remove from your objectives because it has a very low impact, but you have to work very hard to achieve that one. You have to put a high effort to achieve that. Then you can give it a low priority, and if you want, even you can keep it out from the objective list. Right. So then you must prioritize these ones first. You should give the main priority to the quick wins. Then you must have the major projects as well because the impact is high. You can't keep them away. You have to have it. Then again, you have time, budget, and you can, if you want actually, you can have these feelings. Right? Again, you can give the less priority to these ones actually. If you want, you can keep them away. Right? That is how we can prioritize our objectives. So the metric is called, children, impact effort metric. Clear? Okay, children. Now we have our objectives there. What are our objectives? These ones, right? Overall idea, you can have a photograph of this one or screenshot. Or idea about the harmful results drugs and health financial issues like that. Arrange live discussions with drug addicts. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is draw the impact effort metric. Just take a paper and draw the metric and put those objectives in the 4 main areas of our metric. Here we have quick wins. Here we have major projects and feelings. And here we have thinkless task. All right, start now. I want you to put all the objectives in the impact effort metric, right? Shall we start then? Okay, these are the objectives. Don't think about goals, think about objectives, right? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can put these 6, or you can put some numbers there, right? If you just use short forms, give overall idea, live discussions, then health and financial issues, video evidences. Like that, you can use short terms. That's okay. However, I want you to fill these objectives in the impact effort metric and see how we can prioritize them. Start now, children. Okay, done. Right. Now, this is how we can have them there. Explain the health and financial issues of using drugs. It's a low effort, right? And show video evidences, low effort, but the impact is high. You can achieve good impact. Students will know about those things. Second, give an oral idea about the harmful results of the drug addiction. Giving an oral idea, so then you have to work more hard. Arrange live discussions with drug addictions. You have to work very hard, but the impact is very high. Right? So then those can be put into the major project area. Then third one, list available drugs in Sri Lanka. So then effort is low, impact is low. By just knowing available drugs, that is not more impact in prevention, right? Drugs වර්ග දනන් හිටියා කියලා එකෙන් වැළකීම සම්බන්ධ වෙන impact එක අඩුයි. So you can have it as a feeling then. provide the healthy lunch to the participants. To give a lunch, you have to have a very high effort. You have to find funds and again arrange a lunch. Then it's really hard, right? Again, impact for our objective, prevention drug in school children. So providing lunch, the impact is very low for the objectives. Sorry, for the goal, right? So then children can have it there in the think less area. So if you want, you can now remove that from your list. So then you can have very clear objectives by just prioritizing them, right? Okay, let's move forward, everyone. Then other elements that you should have is a project description. You must have a summary of a project. There you have to describe key deliverables and prioritize purpose and descriptions. You can use easy to understand terms there because you should not use some technical terms in this description because people are not that much of technically aware to understand your things if you kind of a tech people, right? Then again, milestone and deliverables, children. So milestone are the major steps that we take to reach an objective are called milestones, right? Deliverables mean, children, what are we going to deliver to the client at the end? That is deliverable. That can be a knowledge even, right? That's a deliverable. If you are building a house, if that is the project, then house is a deliverable, right? If you're going to plan a promotional video, then video is a deliverable. So like that, at the end, what you're going to deliver to the customer is called deliverable. So then in the project scope statement, you should clearly mention these are things that you're going to deliver to the customer. Right. Again, milestones, the steps that you're going to follow. For our example, getting permission from the schools, booking the venue, finding sponsors. So these are milestones, no, not objectives. So milestones are the major activities that we are going to perform to achieve an objective. Right? To achieve objectives, the major steps that we take. Normally, you can use these milestones in your time scheduling plan as well. You can go with the milestones because you don't have to insert every tiny detail in their Gantt chart or the time scheduling plan. So you can go with milestones. Right. However, you should mention the milestones in your project scope statement. Deliverables, see, sponsorship confirmations, permissions, confirmations, hand out to the materials and event schedule, like those are the deliverables. Timeline is really important, children. So normally through the timeline, work breakdown structure is converted into a timeline in scheduling. So to prepare this one, children, you need the expertise support and the experience. So for each and every task, what the time normally it takes must be calculated and added into the time schedule. So if you don't have that experience and the knowledge to schedule time, then you must hire a consultant. That's why companies are hiring consultants to prepare these planning documents. For example, if you are building a house, you are going to prepare the time schedule, lay in the foundation, constructing the wall like that. So if you don't have an idea how long it will take to lay a foundation with the blueprints you have, with the dimensions you have, then you must hire a consultant. That can be a construction engineer somewhere, or that can be a carpenter. So like that, you must, if you don't have the experience, you must hire the experience and expertise, right? So in this document timeline, what you're gonna add? Start date, end date, right? You have to put start date, end date, and again milestones, right? Task, resources needed, and who's gonna have the responsibility like that. Those things also can be added in the schedule. So this is essential to keep a project on track, children, because through the diagram, we are going to monitor the project, whether that is going on the track. Okay. Let's see how a Gantt chart looks like. So this one called a Gantt chart, children. This is the tool we use, Gantt chart. So in this Gantt chart, you can see the milestone is listed. And don't think about the data, all the data, right? So project status in progress. Then completion rate is mentioned as a percentage. Project due date is mentioned. And this is the important area, children. This is the important area. So in this area, you're going to mark how long that activity will take to complete. Right now you are here, see? So now you can very clearly monitor this activity should be completed. And this much of percentage must be completed at the considered date. So like that you can graphically see this one, right? Again, this is where you need the expertise. To define this time period, children, you need that expertise support because you may not know how long that will take. Then you can discuss with the person who is actually doing that one and have a meeting. And in that meeting, you can decide within 5 days we can do it. Within 1 month, we can do it like that. You're going to come to an agreement with the working team and your employees, team members. Then you're going to put this time in the diagram, right? Okay, so this one is called the Gantt chart. Then you should be able to prepare Gantt charts to your project. So our school program, I just prepare a Gantt chart here. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are some students or people. So getting permission, 2 days, booking the venue, 2 days, and again, finding sponsors. At the same time, we're gonna participation confirmation at the same time. So see, so like that, this is called the Gantt chart with the expertise support you can prepare. Timeline can be defined in days, weeks, years, months, anyway. It depends on the project. So however, you must have a Gantt chart like this in the project, right? Okay, next one is budget. Again, budget is really important. In preparing the budget, again, you have to take the support of your work breakdown structure and the resource breakdown structure. So with that too, you are supposed to prepare the budget under this structure. Children, there can be different structures of budgets, but this is the most popular and accurate one. So then if you check in some other documents, you can see some different styles, but we'll go with this one, the most accurate and common one, right? Okay. So in the budget, you can see there are two sections, two main sections. One is direct cost, the other one is indirect cost. Again, the indirect cost is divided into another two, that is capital cost and the operational cost. So those are the main components of a budget. We'll see one by one. Children, direct cost is expenses required to produce the project deliverables. Examples, salaries for people, cost of equipment, cost of materials, right? Those are direct cost. See, material cost, labor cost, third party cost means some other payments, raw material. So once you are engaged with the project, the daily cost comes under direct cost. The employee salary comes under direct cost. If you purchase some raw material, that comes under direct cost. Because to execute the project, to run the project, you have to bear this cost. That is why it's called as a direct cost. So have a very clear understanding about direct cost because you are supposed to prepare budget as well. In exam also, there's a question to prepare the budget. So then your clear understanding about these data information is really important. Okay. Next one is indirect cost. Indirect means that is not directly involving to the daily activities or the execution of the project. Right. So for example, assume that you are going to engage with the construction project. You are going to construct a building, right? So to construct the building, you need a office area. So hiring a location for your office, that is not directly involved with the execution of the project. The execution is you are building the house or building the construction. So then in building the construction, then you have to pay salaries of the laborers, pay salaries of the supervisors and all. You have to purchase raw material like bricks and sands and everything. So then those are direct cost. But to maintain the project, you need office area, then that comes under indirect cost. Again, for the office area, you need a printout. You need some printouts, right? So then you got to purchase a printer. Then to manage the things, you need a computer. Then you need a computer. Then you need a water filter there. Then those are also not directly involved with the daily activities. Then that comes under indirect cost, right? So that's the difference. Direct and indirect cost. Direct means directly involved with the daily operations of the project, right? Okay. In the indirect cost, children, there are two again, capital cost and the operational cost. So capital cost is every item, tangible item that you purchase for the project. So these are not raw materials again. So which comes under indirect cost, again divided into two, as tangible items and operational cost. So if you purchase the computer and some stationery, then that comes under capital cost. But if you purchase bricks to the project building, gadol ගෙන්නුවොත් gadol යන්න කොහටද? direct cost එකකට. හැබැයි ඔයාලා computer එකක් ගෙන්නුවොත් ඒක යන්නේ indirect cost එකකට. So again, indirect cost under capital cost. Capital means, so the tangible items which you can use in the next project even, right? Tangible, capital cost. Operational cost is cleaning cost. Then office rental. Again, electricity bill, water bill. Those are comes under operational cost. If you hire a consultant, operational cost, right? Again, if you have a project manager, the project manager's payment goes under operational cost, but the labor's salary goes under direct cost. See, that's the difference. If we have HR manager, the HR manager's salary comes under which section here? HR manager's salary comes under operational cost. See, if you are developing a software project, then salary of the software developers, it's a direct cost. It comes under direct cost. Again, project manager or the HR manager, HR executive cost salary, that goes under operational cost. Then you're going to give some laptops to the developers from the company. That again comes under indirect capital cost. Again, you need to purchase some software tools to develop the software. Then those goes under direct cost. Like that, you must decide how these are differentiated, right? You should have a very clear understanding. Then in your assignment also, when you're going to prepare the budgets, you must adhere to this structure, right? Everyone, any question regarding the budget? So children, here I have given you sample budget for project, sample project, right? Transport from school, printing handouts, printing banners. So those things comes on direct cost. Stationery items, capital costs. Operational cost, official transports that, see, transport for the school, from the school for the students, it goes under direct cost, children, because it directly involved with the objective or the goal. Official transports, that means going for permission, going for taking permissions and going to meet principals. And so that comes under operational cost. Printing handouts, banners, those comes under direct cost. But normal printing for the official work, letter printing, permission letter printing, a name list printing, so those comes under operational cost. See, on the main line that divides these two is directly involved with the daily operation or not. Okay. Any question, children, about the budgets? Everyone, any question? Is that clear? Okay, then. The other key elements are inclusions and exclusions. So this is really important. Inclusions are what you're gonna do, what you're gonna deliver at the end, inclusions. Exclusions means what you are not gonna do, what you are not going to give. Those are called exclusions. Got the idea? Inclusions, what you provide. At the end, what you're gonna give, what you're gonna deliver. Inclusions. Exclusions means what you are not going to deliver. For example, assume that you are going to take a project of building a house, right? In the building the house, so inclusions may be completing the structure, then color washing the house, plumbing, and electrical work. Those are inclusions. And you may not going to do landscaping. That's not in your scope. Then as exclusion, you must mention there, landscaping activities are excluded. Otherwise, what will happen? The client will ask you, please do this one, please make the land here, please dig a hole here like that. So they may ask, but in your document, you have clearly mentioned that landscaping activities are exclusion, under exclusions. Then you can clearly say, we are not going to do this, right? Okay. See, in our project, that drug prevention campaign project, see, transport from the school to the venue before the program. That is inclusion. Printed handouts, api deno, inclusions. Seating facilities for all the participants, inclusion. Refreshment, inclusion. Lunch for the resource persons, include. Now we have mentioned all the inclusions. If not, we have mentioned the exclusions, then people will come and ask, where are the lunch for the students? Transport for going back to the school. Like that, they will ask. But under exclusions, we have clearly mentioned lunch. You are not going to provide lunch. Transport from the venue to the school after the program, that is not provided. Transport for the resource persons are not going to provide. Then that is mentioned on the exclusions. Those now clearly know, right? Everyone who refers to your project plan, they know this is what you're going to do. Otherwise, there will be doubts. There will be problems. You have to face problems because you have not mentioned that is excluded, right? Okay. Assumptions, children. What you assume. In some cases, for example, you are going to develop a software project and give it to a business, right? In that case, you assume that the people who are using the system has the basic IT knowledge. That is your assumption. Because you are going to develop the system with that assumption. Right? So in every project, there are some assumptions. ඔයාලා මෙන්න මේ තත්ත්වයේ මේක ඇති කියලා හිතාගෙන තමයි වැඩ කරගෙන යන්නේ ඉස්සරහට. So you should mention those assumptions in your scope statement. We'll try to understand with our example, children. All the students may take their own meal during the interval. So we are not going to provide lunch. We have mentioned that. Again, we assume students will bring their own lunch. We assume that. All the students are may in good health condition to stay 4 hours in an air-conditioned hall. That's an assumption. Because we are going to organize our session for 4 hours in an air-conditioned room. That's what we're going to do, with assuming that all students are in good health to be there. But you have to mention that. So agreements, sponsor agreements. So if you're going to take a sponsorship from an company organization, then you're going to go with an agreement. Like the sponsors will be notified 3 times during the program. That's an agreement with the sponsors. The transport allowance will be paid to the resource person. Agreement. So all the agreements also mentioned in the document. Clear? Then stakeholder identification. Who are the stakeholders who has any impact or any relation to a project comes as an stakeholder. So then it's important that you should identify what is the actual problem that you're going to address. That's also be in the description of your project. By completing your project, you will address the problem, right? Okay. Right, children, from this point, we're going to wind up for today. Then actually we learned about work breakdown structure, and that is the initial diagram of the document that you should prepare. And after that, you have to prepare a resource breakdown structure as well, and then a Gantt chart to plan or schedule your project. So next day, children, we're going to learn about the critical path method and the PERT chart. That's really important in scheduling and monitoring your project, right? So those are really needful to manage the project. Right. So then this point, we're going to wind up. Again, before that, if you have any questions, you can ask. There's a question like group assignment. Yeah, you can create your own group for the assignment. You are free to take any member from your BM batch to your group, and any students is allowed to be in any group, but only one group, right? You can have only 3 groups within the batch. Okay, everyone, any more questions? Okay, children, then we'll wind up from here. Then have a nice afternoon, a nice evening. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for your participation.